My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com. The views and opinions expressed on Geekfather are those of the panelists and not those of the Geeks Under the Influence Network, their affiliates, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. This is for the parents and not for the kiddies.
Geekfire!
Can you try one more time? Say Geekfather real loud.
Geekfire way out! I just did it.
And welcome back, guys. That's right. It's another, who knows what day it is during COVID, but it's another episode of the Geekfather. I'm Scotty Big Daddy Preston, and by my side, of course, these days, we have Mr. Kyle Smash.
What's up, buddy?
What's happening, man?
Not much.
All right.
I'm still full.
Still full. From all the Thanksgiving, and even though we're full and just full of it, we're still going to be bringing plenty of trials and tribulations to all about the geeky parenting, and it's holiday time. Thanksgiving, well, Halloween technically kicks it off, but Thanksgiving starts a new realm of the holidays, if you will.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so we'll be
a different feeling.
Very, very true. And this evening, during this wonderful recording, we have a special guest. Miss Emily.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, that was such a nerdy voice. That was so
I have
awesome.
my nerd glasses on tonight.
That's true. That's true. Welcome. We figured we didn't really find a third, so we asked Emily to hop in here as we get ready for the holidays, and always looking for a new perspective, if you will.
Yes, I'm glad to give it.
Good. Oh, I know you are, because you'll give it regardless. That's fine. We understand.
Yeah, well, we're tired. We're tired of giving ours to ourselves week after week. So
Yeah, our opinions just are sort of blind at this point. They all sort of mesh together. But hopefully if you're listening at this point, you're out of the food coma, at least enough from the Thanksgiving holiday. And of course, the great debate of, do you start Christmas before that or after or during or whatever it may be? Who cares, especially now? If you're enjoying the holidays, whatever you do to get prepped and to make yourself feel better, do it.
yeah,
So,
I believe it. I like doing it right after Thanksgiving. It helps also work off all that food that you ate.
Yes.
Get up off your feet.
yes.
Don't be so blah. Just kind of sitting around.
Very, very true. Ours has been a little bit more gradual. We actually probably started closer to Halloween. Just because, again, that's what the wife was feeling.
Piece by piece.
Yeah, it started out very little, but of course, still with Thanksgiving, a lot more was able to come about. Go get the big decorations, if you will, out of the attic. We just set up a few things around Halloween or right after and through November, but pull out the big guns at this point for sure. So.
Smash, I distinctly remember you fighting me on putting up Christmas decorations, and normally I'm the Scrooge and you're Cindy Lou Who, but this year he's the Cindy Lou Who and I'm the Grinch normally, but this year I had to pretty much drag his ass outside to get the lights put up.
Once you got me started though, and then I was like a machine.
Yeah, a little bit of a kickstart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I totally get that.
I'm like a crank generator, I'm like, you just have to kind of keep plugging it, and I'll keep working.
Eventually,
for you. Yeah, eventually I'll get the job done, but I'll run out of steam. But this is actually, I think. And for her, it's been a long time, so she actually.
It's been a long time since I fucking around.
You will hear me refer to her as Jim. Is her podcast name?
Jim?
Yeah.
As in like Jim and the holograms?
Sure.
Sure.
Actually, no, I think you've said that before.
Well, if you
I swear to God, you've said that
if
before.
you really want to know, it's a really sweet story
Oh, no.
of how he always called me his Jim, but no, it's just I'm the Jim.
M the Gem.
M the Gem.
All right, well, M the Gem is joining us for this wonderful in between the holidays episode of the Geekfather. Soon to be, I think the consensus vote on the new title, since Smash is becoming official, you gotta say official more than once, co-host of the podcast, is that we're just gonna add on the S and go with the Geekfathers, which will be making it official, just to make sure it's official, right after the new year.
Everybody
we'll do
drink. Everybody drink when he says official.
We're even going to sign the contracts with the big X.
Yeah, we'll just slap on that X and go to town.
Or a family, crest stamp, or the wax stamps. That's how they used to do it. That's how we're going to do it.
I'm totally in on that.
Cool.
That works.
Cool.
So that means, of course, guys, unfortunately, it will be after the new year because we're putting together designs and everything. There will be some new stuff up. I'll go ahead and start promoting it now because if you don't know, you got Christmas shopping to do. So visit our friends at TeePublic. We'll have some new designs. Of course, there's always the classics that we'll still keep around. Just click on that lovely link at guypodcast.com and we'll have tons of fun. Of course, that's one of my other nicknames, I'm sure. That's I love throwing out those little left field comments there and then wait for the reaction.
No, I want a story behind that. No, I don't. Yes, I do.
Tons of fun. Kevin Smith reference, man.
I know. I was just kidding.
I'm fat. Okay? Is that what you wanted to hear? That I just admit that I'm fucking fat.
He's getting so red. Look at the top of his head.
At least it's not shiny.
You are not fat, buddy. You're robust.
I am robust.
Yes.
Add that name to the list. I mean, that's one of my many nicknames, and Lunchbox is another one.
I think you're quite majestic. So
thank you.
You're
welcome. A unicorn unto myself, if you will.
You with like a centaur or a what's the half man, half horse? Is it?
Centaur, yeah.
Centaur, yeah.
Or centaur, or
centaur,
whatever.
yeah. The centaur beard. They always have that one goatee, but no, like nothing over the lip.
That's true. Hey, don't make fun of my Amish beard now. Come on. Just because I can't.
Impressive.
Thank you.
We gotta get some updated pictures out there of that beard.
Try to. I mean, I still pride myself as being a member of the Richmond Beard League. So some great people there, which for the way this year has gone, they've still been doing some great stuff for benefiting, and that's really I think a good thing to make sure we bring up quite a bit on this episode. I know I'll be preaching of this is the time of year. Even though the rest of the year should be just as equal, but it's a time to press it, is that let's help out the communities, help out the people. Mm-hmm. That's the mind frame we've got to be in. And even though we've all been stuck at home for the most part still, that's, the holidays are,
it's a good time to focus that energy.
Focusing, there you go.
Yeah, it seems to be a ripe time for a lot of people to focus that energy where they may not otherwise... have the time or energy to do that in their normal days. It's like December or around there seems to be that time.
Well, and even though people, especially now, you can't travel like you normally would during the time, a lot of people still take that extra time off. You have the extra days, the extra hours within a day, just to do something.
And also, I believe we're recording on Giving Tuesday, is it not?
You may be. I mean, I know of that. Like, I've heard that before, but I've never really followed along with that one.
No, I haven't. I mean, I see things here and there. So, but it sounds like it's still cool. Regardless,
I'll take it.
Regardless, it could be Giving fucking Wednesday or Thursday. I could give a shit. It could be It could
fucking give people.
It could be Giving half day as long as we're giving, and it's just that the whole concept was just a day for other people to give to others. Random people to give to others. It's a pretty cool concept.
As it should be. And, I mean, again, that's all we're going to harp on, so I'll save the good stuff maybe for later. But let's get into the regular episode as well here. I guess we should do our normal shit talking and everything else where basically it's still a COVID time of year. I mean, that's all we've really been able to do. And I know everybody should know this at this point is where it kills me that's what we've had to be very centric on. Especially with this podcast, but it does tend to affect people more with the kids and everything like that. I mean, if I was single, tell me to stay home and all I can do is play video games while I work or do whatever. Mm-hmm. Shit, yeah. you wouldn't see my ass out anywhere, no doubt. But when you got the kids and you're trying to keep them physically active while keep them occupied during times that you normally, could easily hand them off to grandpa and grandma or a babysitter or something, those times are no longer current. So it's been difficult, which is why we drink on this podcast as well.
Well, the hard part about it is just trying to find, as we always talk about, is trying to find balance. Maybe keep your sanity a little bit.
Balance is key.
It's hard for a lot of people out there right now, every day. So when you know you're feeling it and you're like, man, shit's really kind of coming down.
Yeah.
Somebody's got it 10 times worse right down the street.
For sure.
And that's not even just like the usual, like, look, whatever's happening to you, something worse is happening. In the general concept or something that I grew up with, like nowadays, it really is a lot of people hurting. Way more than I know that I am.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can bitch and moan all day long, but it's nothing in comparison to what a certain single parents may be feeling, or just people that are just in a situation that none of this is conducive. Like nothing can match, like for what they're trying to do.
Well, and it's not just parents, but it's everybody in general. But yes, parents, grandparents, step parents, surrogate parents. One way or another, it's hard on everybody.
Very, very true.
Especially the kids.
Yep, absolutely. So let's bring in a little bit of good news, or some at least good stories into this. Again, mine is very, very simple, but do you have a geeky parenting story this week? I know we've been trying to add this in, but I mean, it hasn't always been like a due diligence type thing. It's, if we've got them, we've got them. If not, we definitely have plenty of material to still talk about, if you will. We're never going to run out of material to say that.
There's always, you can pull 1,000 stories up, or anything like that. No, the only geeky parenting that I can say, especially over the past couple of weeks, has been with my kid. And when she gets locked onto something, she gets really locked onto it. So whenever she sees me working on something, she immediately wants to know what I'm working on.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And how to do it. And so she's kind of got this, you can, almost like a mechanical set where you put it together. It's usually got solar panels attached to it, and you can turn it into 10 different things. Yeah. It could be a dinosaur, it could be whatever.
Yep.
So I started pulling that out again and, putting things together. And then immediately she saw that. She's like, what do you, I want to make this. And so that became...
Sort of takes over and goes with it.
But it was just immediately she saw that was like, oh, what are you interested in? Oh, that looks cool. Well, you're interested. Let me see. I got this.
Very nice.
It was just one of those little moments that you laugh. Yeah, you kind of giggle at.
Very cool. Very cool. I know. In the gym here, we kind of threw under the bus real quick of like, hey, be on the episode. We'll have a third person. So, are there any great geeky parenting stories that you can think of? I know he probably made you listen to previous episodes. I'm sorry, but any. Like, it could be any story that you can think of where a parent just kind of did something really fucking cool. Because I know we did give you no prep time, and I totally get it. And I'm throwing you under the bus right now.
The Jeopardy song plays as I'm just sitting here sipping my wine. I don't know. I mean, so I come in as the step parent to Smash's kid, and it has been a transition.
Sure.
And I think the geeky parent from my side is Smash's kid is an only child, as am I. So I can relate to Lorelai a little bit differently than what Smash can, because Smash grew up with 2 other brothers that were older than him. And yes, majority of his life they were out of the house, so he kind of did grow up as an only child, but he still had those brothers there. Whereas...
There was a presence.
There's a presence, yeah. Whereas, like, when you're an only child, you have to get creative on entertainment. Yeah. And the amount of creativity that she has is unreal. I mean, she can go outside and speak to the wind for an hour, and the wind will respond.
I'd be impressed by hearing that conversation, to tell the truth.
Or she'll go outside and sing and make money, or she'll, go run up to some random kid on the street and say, hey, you want to be friends? Let's play.
There you go.
And that, I've had to have those conversations where she'll say, I'm bored. And I'm like, well, it's just you, kiddo. You got to start getting creative. And here are some things. So I've helped her kind of figure out how to be creative and how to self-entertain. Because, I said when I was your age, you
get that walker out.
Most geeks and nerds are pretty, they're pretty creative by design. They have big imaginations.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely, I will say, you help her tap better than I do sometimes into like that it's okay for her to get lost in her imagination, which I think all kids do, which is
they should,
which is as fucking geeky as it gets.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. No, and I thought that would have been a great idea. Like, well, just to have you on an episode period is lovely. But also, we are looking at perspective, especially not only with COVID and things happening, but as we get into the holiday, we've heard from Steven on stuff before, and people mention things like always being uncles or whatever, but being a step-parent is really, that's a whole new challenge all in itself.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the holidays, who knows what kind of madness will ensue at that point. And it's each person has their own story for that. I'll say that much. Very, because I've had friends in similar situations and everything, and some smooth, some rocky. So, and we'll definitely get in more into that throughout the episode. Talk, again, like I mentioned, we'll talk about the holidays. Mine was even probably more simple. We probably should come up with another hashtag or title of this, because they're not always stories, but they're just cool geeky parenting shit. And I've seen this actually a couple times before, and I got very fortunate that I got a reminder basically today looking through some stuff, is that there's a YouTube channel, I think. It's become an actual YouTube channel, because you know how YouTube is all funky about shit these days. And what it is a father, it's called Dad, How Do I?
I've seen that.
And it's a dad who has 2 grown kids these days, but he makes videos for the specific people
who grew up with that one, or
who didn't grow up with dad, or with even parents, and teaches them how to fix shit and do stuff around the house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think it's
what you need
phenomenal.
to have is you need to have more videos like that. Then you could have a dad or mom or surrogate or whatever parental unit, whatever you want to call them, and do videos on like balancing your checkbook and and like.
Absolutely.
And put that shit on kids' YouTube.
Yep.
Like, I'm fine with that stuff being on kids' YouTube. They don't necessarily need to learn how to make slime. There's enough videos of them learning how to make slime.
Oobleck is one of them too.
Yes.
But what is Oobleck?
Oobleck, it's that form of slime where it's, I can't think of the person's name, the theory behind it, but it's basically super liquidy, but if you put force behind it, like,
it's a solid.
It becomes a solid.
It's like that. It's a starch experiment.
Cornstarch, glue,
cornstarch and water.
Put it together in your hand. And
but if you get it fast, if you stand on it, you'll sink. But you can. If you run fast enough, you'll be able to run right across.
And this is where I know we've mentioned on the show before, but I'll promote the shit out of this show, Emily's Wonder Lab on Netflix, where they do Oobleck and a bunch of other stuff. And these this woman is fucking amazing. She's worked for NASA. She's a fucking physicist, engineer, whatever it may be. She has a couple of PhDs. Did you
say NASA or NASA?
NASA, sorry.
Oh, okay.
That southern drawl came out.
I swear I heard NASA and I was like, what's okay.
Yeah. Giddy up. But Emily, I don't know what her last name is. Fucking awesome. Like, she basically created this show, filmed the show 9 months pregnant, and has these kids doing all these awesome science experiments and showing you how you can do stuff at home. And it's a great show on Netflix. So if you have access to Netflix, Emily's Wonder Lab, sweet.
Well, we grew up, I know when I was around my kid's age, like I grew up with like Mr. Wizard. Even probably younger than that, like around 6 and 7.
Oh, the OG Nickelodeon. Mr. Wizard, yes.
Yes, it was fantastic. Why these kids randomly showed up at this whole as a question.
We didn't think about that at that time.
No, but I've become a parent, so the concept of the show, because I could see you looking at me with like a blank look.
You're showing me your age, honey.
Yeah, it's sort of like Bill Nye the Science Guy, except for not as cool or produced. But
he paved the way for Bill Nye and a bunch of these other like showing kids how to do cool science stuff. But it was old school. It was like what, mid to late 80s at the...
It was like late 80s.
Something.
Late 80s into early 90s.
But it was an older dude. It wasn't like today where like scientists are like young and hip looking or whatever.
It might have been longer than that. I mean, Mr. Wizard was around. He was around.
The dude did a lot of stuff, and he was certified, like PhDs, engineering, and all that stuff as well. But the way they had it set up was like almost like this kitchen, and random kids would just come into the door and be like, Mr. Wizard, what are we doing today? But I mean, he would do cool science experiments, but it was just sort of like...
Random people showing up for a science experiment.
Yeah, but the door always stayed open, so, I guess... It was just one of those things as a parent, when I think about it, I'm like, the fuck were those kids?
Do their parents know that they're there doing science?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of science experiments are they doing over this old man's house? But yeah,
right, exactly.
They filmed it. No, it was very educational. It was like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and there's several others that came. But
very well in comparison, bland. But again, you're talking about we're old fogies here with this type of stuff. That's just the way it was back then. I mean, that was about the closest kids got to learning about science outside of school, really, when it came down to it. I mean, I'm sure there were other programs depending on what city or town you lived in, but for the general public, that was it. You had Mr. Wizard, and that's where a lot of people don't realize that's where a lot of the jokes come from. If you hear in movies and stuff, it's way to be smart, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah.
You're making fun of me, but Mr. Wizard was doing science, bitch.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what did they say in the Matt Damon movie? What is it? The Martian? He says, I'm going to science the shit out of this.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That should be, I would love to see a t-shirt with Mr. Wizard on it, and that be the tagline above it. I'm going to science the shit out of this.
I'd be all about that.
And oh man, as a geeky parent, I would eat that up.
You know what's...
no, go right on ahead.
I was going to say, what's wonderful about Monkey and science is that let me reverse that.
We own a monkey, by the way. She's like a baby to us. So and
she throws poo too. I've seen it.
So
she's got a special cage in her room.
Yeah.
So I am a huge space geek. I love watching space documentaries. I put them on to go to sleep. But if I'm down here in the living room watching TV and it happens to be a space documentary, Lila multiple times has come down and been like, can I just sit down here and watch this with you? And she will watch like a lot of science things that I will be watching. I'm like, I'm so proud of you for wanting to watch this.
She will sit there and soak it up. So it's just like anything. You have to make sure she's watching something of value. Just because it has a science-specific theme to it does not necessarily make it right or true.
No, totally. And Logan he's always my funny one because I'm like there have been some random science experiment stuff we bought for the boys at times, and I want to get some more for Christmas time coming up and everything. Even though we basically we already bought, they're usually the first on the list to just get their shit done, make sure it's bought for the kids, because that's what Christmas morning ends up usually being, is for the kids doing their own stuff at this point.
Oh, sure.
I mean, as long as I still get my shit, that's cool, but no.
Yeah, if you still get presents, that rocks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My wife treats me... My wife, Christmas is her holiday, yo. Like, I mean, it's like, you spend how much money? Oh, but look at what you bought me. You know? It's like, so it's like... It's that weird balance in the brain.
Like, should we return this? No, we're not going to.
No, absolutely not. Oh, you quote unquote lost the receipt? Oh, bummer. Guess we got to keep it. Man. But there's cool site, and that's why I mentioned Emily's Wonder Lab and a few other things, is that Logan he's one of my funny ones where he can be the most resistant of like, oh no, let's watch this. This is really cool. Like they do this and that, and he'll be like, no, but you just watch. And he'll be throwing a fit. You throw it on the TV, give him about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden he's like, zoom. Yeah. And he's just sucked in. And he's just like, can we do that? I'm like, we don't have $5 billion to create a spacecraft to do, whatever.
Right.
But we could make a fun rocket or something,
But
so
yes, human can do that.
Yeah, it's humanly possible. We just don't have the proper funds. That's
well, and that's probably a good segue into kind of trying to prepare for the holidays.
Right.
Because that's going to be difficult for a lot of people this year. No matter what you do, it's still just shopping in general. No one's going out. I mean, very, very little people are.
And this is also where I'll throw in, and we'll probably the last 10 minutes of the episode will be us talking about all of our normal rants and a few more. Big, of course, which we always do here on the Geekfathers anyways, where we push for local shopping regardless, especially during these times, help out the smaller businesses, the mom and pop stores, whatever it may be. But we have stores like World of Mirth and a few others out there that they sell these toys and science experiment type activities available as well. I mean, you can do it. You could create a lot, just by going to the grocery, finding the right list of ingredients or doing whatever.
There's a lot of stuff to fuel curiosity.
Absolutely.
A lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Even just those little wooden puzzles. I mean, some people can sit there for
Leland loves
a
those
long
things.
time and try to figure it out. Once they do, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like a Rubik's Cube. My kid, she loves the Rubik's Cube, and she can get sides put together, but not the whole thing yet.
Right.
Pick a color.
Yeah, just pick a color, and she'll get it. And I was like, get them all done at the same time. And
no,
you'll
Daddy, just pick a color.
Yeah, but that's what she hears all the time.
Right.
I said, but get it all done. You'll feel really proud about yourself, and I'll get you a special treat. Just because I'll be, proud that you put the time and effort into it.
Sure thing. Yeah, I mean, we bought the boys some of their just usual stuff that will make them happy and be excited about. But we throw in, and that was even a tradition of sorts, even when my brother and I were growing up. Like an aunt and uncle that we have, those were typically a lot of our stocking stuffers from certain family members would be, like some of those like little mini puzzles or whatever. Like, you'd have like 2 or 3 twisted pieces of metal and you have to try to break them apart. Yeah. Little puzzles like that all the time. And those were, for over an hour sitting there before you're like, fuck it, I'll try it later. You play with a toy and you're like, man, I got to find out how to do that. And you go right back to it.
Man, I remember the first time I got a pair of Chinese finger cuffs. I'm not even kidding. I played with those things for hours.
What my brother and I used to do with those is that we got so many that we were able to do all 10 fingers, and we challenged each other to like have them like you're holding your hands look like you're holding a globe, but your finger cuffs on each finger or whatever. Yeah. And the challenge was that can you get out of all 10 of your fingers free?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to do one.
Exactly. Well, maybe for you for one, but...
Yeah. How well did it turn out?
I'm sure it became a hot mess. I mean, we're talking... I mean, how old am I now? Yeah. We're talking a long time ago.
I think I would have gotten claustrophobic and just ripped them.
I'm pretty sure that had happened a couple of them. I would not doubt. Because sometimes you can kind of maneuver like the pinkies maybe... because everything is, you're a kid, so, your pinkies are tiny as shit.
Yeah.
But, like, going to the thumbs or the pointer fingers, yeah, you're a little fucked on that one.
Yeah, you're locked.
So, yeah.
You're locked in. Did you ever play with them, Jim?
No, I never got them as stocking stuffers. I got toothbrushes and...
Ew.
Yeah, I got a new toothbrush every year for Christmas. My mother even got smashed one last year for Christmas.
I mean, as an adult, I'm like, well, sweet.
Yeah,
that's
as an adult, it's great.
But no, I got toothbrushes, back scratches.
Floss.
No, not the floss.
Your parents handed out raisins at Halloween, didn't they?
No, my mom handed out the best candy.
Okay, fair. But see, she's making up for that with the toothbrushes at Christmas. Yeah. That's what it is.
Here, let me brush your teeth out and I'll go brush them.
Right. Yeah, that works out. Balance, people. Balance. Yes.
I will be part of the problem, and then I will help solve the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could be part of the problem, but figure out the solution to the problem as well.
Here's the solution.
Yes.
For me to sleep better tonight.
That I can totally dig that. I like that idea. I like that a lot. Let's also kind of get, because we've had some good talks here going. We've got some good time going for the episode. I don't want to cut us too short, but we definitely don't need to ramble on like a GUI flagship episode either. Damn it, I lost my own train of thought there for a second.
You're throwing shade.
I know.
You're going to get that.
I'm throwing the Sade around and just like, it's bad. Sorry, that was a bad joke from a TV show as well. Man, I'm just full of it tonight. Thanksgiving
must have kicked your ass.
Actually, it was nice to have a 4-day weekend where I actually got a 4-day weekend personally with work and stuff. Now, granted, that Wednesday before Thanksgiving was a shit show.
Yeah.
For everything going on, but I did what I could. I did my job, and I got paid for what I did for my job, so I can't complain but so much. But getting ready for Christmas, guys. We had to do it for Thanksgiving with COVID. Where we had to be careful with people. We know travel restrictions are screwed, which I hate traveling during the holidays anyways. But that's always me. We've got some family out of state, but a phone call we'll usually do with the holidays, and I'd rather travel springtime, summer, where it's a little bit easier regardless. Mm-hmm. They're pulling the same restrictions. Now, because it's 2 against 1 on this episode, I don't know. I know you guys probably limited more than what we did on Thanksgiving. And I would assume Christmas time would be the same.
Yeah, we were pretty limited.
So, Thanksgiving, we went over to my mother's house. Mothers. We went over to my mom's house and did an early lunch there. And it was just my mom and dad, their next door neighbor who's like 85 and doesn't go anywhere, and so and doesn't have any family, so he comes over, and then it was just me and him, and then we went over to his mom's house for dinner, and it was me, him, and Lorelai, and then his mom and stepdad, and then his brother and his cousin, and that was it. Like, there wasn't anybody.
No weird outside of the circle stuff.
No, you knew where everybody came from, where they were going.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we had a few more people. We technically went over 10. Don't tell anybody.
You just told everybody.
Don't worry.
I know.
Don't worry. Nobody
listens to this. What are you talking? I told nobody.
It's just going to be the one episode that somebody important goes, what the fuck?
What happened? But I mean, same thing with us. I mean, Jennifer is working a different job, so she's not nearly, even with the new job, even less public. It's not only is she working less and less stressful hours, but she doesn't deal with the public like she used to. Mm-hmm. My brother had his surgery. He's a firefighter EMT. He's been bound to a desk for the past 2 or 3 months, so he hasn't been out in the field to be in contact with anybody. I mean, we don't have a large family, but it's myself, my wife, my 2 boys, my parents, my brother, his wife, and they have 3 kids, but only one is in high school. The other 2 are grown adults. And there was a boyfriend and a girlfriend that showed up, but again, we closely monitored who was there, and if you think at all that there's an issue, we love you, stay the fuck away.
Yep.
So it's, and this is talking about where, I've mentioned it before, where we've done the Thanksgivings where we've always pulled in the strays. We've maxed out at, I think, like 50 people for one Thanksgiving event. But we're talking about, like, not only our family, but people from my parents. Well, they used to be churchgoers. That's a whole different discussion. My parents are religious regardless, but there's been people from the church, families. It was always families who really were struggling or didn't have extended family, random stragglers, a boyfriend, girlfriend here and there. And then you usually get some of the military folk up from Fort Lee that weren't able to go home for the holiday either. My parents, I should say, did that program for a few years until they stopped that 2 years ago for some reason. But, so yeah, we've maxed out some Thanksgiving meals. But the key is that most of the time, unless you're, certain people were struggling more than others, the whole thing is that you still brought, something. It could have been 2 liters of soda for all we cared, as long as we didn't have a turkey and just 22 liters.
Yeah.
But,
Thanksgiving is essentially a potluck, and a potluck is essentially Thanksgiving. Yeah. So I think we should just call it what it is. It's a potluck.
It is. And it can be a killer potluck, even for... I mean, we over the past few years, we were dwindling the numbers anyways, just the way things were going in life. But for this year, just to be immediate family, it was a nice change of pace as well, because we were able to catch up. And then also, the day after Thanksgiving, because we were able to kind of do the party there, we bought some balloons and did some stuff where my parents celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary.
Woo woo. Hear, hear.
So,
congratulations.
Raise a glass to them, how they've been able to fucking do it with my brother and I and everything. I don't know, man.
Hey, they're not a statistic, so that's great.
I can't argue with that. definitely not always the smoothest ride, but definitely worked it out, and glad to see him coming on top with the shit. So can't argue.
It takes work. Anything worth having is
just like the fucking holiday. Jeez. And well, speaking of work, well, I'm gonna throw the spotlight here on M the Gym and the whatever holograms and shit. Jim and the holograms over here. She's sparkling personality, not sparkling hair, if you will. So, but
Yes.
one thing that we should definitely bring up, and I mean, we've always mentioned in passing, like I said, Steve, we've had Steven as kind of our go-to for this position for a lot of things. But being a step parent, especially during the holidays, is I mean, that's the only way I can describe it.
It isn't. It isn't. I don't know what's wrong with my English tonight. Maybe it's because I drank a whole bottle of Stella Rosa, but that's neither here nor there.
But I think it's here.
Oh, no, you haven't had the whole bottle.
I got one more glass.
You're right.
You're fine.
It's stressful in the sense of, I'm new to Lila's life.
Right.
I've only been in her life for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Smash and I have been dating for almost 2.5 years, but we waited a long time before I was even introduced to Lila. So I'm still learning her likes, her dislikes.
Sure.
And, while I follow Kyle's lead in this household, I still have another parent to worry about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What does she allow, as well as what does he allow? So I follow his lead, but also at the end of the day, like, if her mom doesn't want Lorelai to be wearing, I don't know, all black all the time, or wearing dark makeup, which at 9 years old she won't be anyway, because I have a brain, for God's sakes, but,
there you go.
Stuff along that, or, if she's trying to change up her diet, and maybe Kyle hasn't portrayed that to me, but I go pick up Lorelai, and, her mom is like, hey, by the way, here's what we're trying to implement, or this is what I don't want her to get for Christmas. Please make sure she doesn't, you don't get this for her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of that, like, I have to find the happy medium between both parents.
And from what I've gathered on things, I mean, what you guys have told me openly, I mean, it's not like we're not talking private situations here, of course, or anything. But you guys have, like you said, you've reached that happy medium, like, for the most part.
Yes.
Like, there's been some great strides in the past year and everything. And, again, it's the Geekfather-ism of all time is that you guys have found that great balance. It's that open communication, because, again, with new relationships and things like that, especially involving the child. Again, I'm coming from third party, and I'm even coming from, I was almost a step parent at one time myself.
Right.
In life where it can be difficult.
It gets sticky, and at this point I am confident to say where I can call her mom and be like, this is what's going on.
Sure.
What do you do? Because whatever I'm doing isn't working. So what do you do? And she sees that as not... I had to put myself in her shoes for a pretty long while to understand, like, what she's going through. Yeah. And when I finally, instead of going to Kyle and asking his opinion, because I love you, but you are a dude, and Lorelai is not a dude, and has some female things going on.
Well, I do not buy her clothes.
And she's going to have some female things going on that you don't know how to deal with. So
just Kyle. Everybody else is fine. It's just Kyle that's having this issue.
Well, I'll tell you, it's probably a lot better during the holidays when you've made a bond. Yeah, I see it.
And that's key for a lot of stuff. Not only a bond, I'm going to say, for not only for Lila, but a bond with her mom to some degree as well. That basically you guys can technically gang up on Kyle now for certain things.
Yeah, and her mom sees that I treat Lila as my own, and I do whatever I need to do for Lila, as if she were my own, as a not replacement.
Exactly. But I was about to say that's a key word there. Yeah.
Standby. as a third party, non-biased, there are going to be some things that she's not going to talk to mom about or dad. And that's where I come in, where
she has that advantage.
But she also now has the disadvantage because me and mom are on the same page.
She's good.
Yeah,
she'll just FaceTime her best friend.
And she has...
Yeah,
they can do that now.
Yep.
They don't have to talk on phones in the bathroom.
Nope.
right.
With
the cord under the door.
That's a real fucking thing, and
But
they don't
she-
have that trouble.
I know.
She's figured out that mom and Emmy are on the same page. Oh shit! Because now it's you can't take my phone. Mommy bought that. Really? Let me call her up.
Yeah.
I'll call her right now.
Let's call you on your shit.
Let's call you.
Yeah.
I'll call mom, and mom's of course like, no, take the damn phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
Take it.
Phone.
Call me anytime you want.
Phone.
Call me. I remember her simply saying, "Call me, please."
Right.
So during the holidays, it also helps having mom being like, "What should I get her? What does she express interest?"
You may have a little inside scoop on something that maybe she hasn't mentioned to mom, or vice versa. Yeah.
So we can definitely kind of go back and forth on Christmas, holidays, birthdays.
Although I doubt that with my child, because she can she pretty much knows what she wants, and she makes her list up. She's
That's
just like,
true.
I'll give you guys the same list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You work together on who gets what.
Basically, that.
And it's like, oh, you want an iPhone? You don't even want the 12 or 13. You want one that's like 2 years away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and pre-order that one.
That's where she kind of has that advantage of like, well, I'll just sort of make the list a little bit bigger and just maybe a guarantee of a little bit more coming my way,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, you just get them stuff to take away. Like, that's really what it boils down to. It's like, I get you all this because maybe you've deserved it, but when you don't deserve it, then I can take it away from you. So
unfortunately, with the limitations,
it's a give and take.
It is,
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And the way this past year has been, the jokes have been made, good and bad. 2021 is not going to be all that much better at this point. Mm-mm. So, basically we have to find ways to bribe our children and new ways to punish them.
Well, at least we know it. Yeah, and at least we know it's not. At least know it's not getting worse. Yeah, bribery, extortion. And
then restriction when it's punishment time.
Yeah, these are the tactics in which you have to use.
Yes, and that's always the great thing about the holiday too, is that because that's one thing that fortunately we've had the time to do as well around the house, is where we've started clearing out some of the old stuff. So it's like, you can't give me that's something that you want or anything. This thing has been sitting here for a month.
Right.
And even before that, it was only moved because you were, quote unquote, cleaning your room, which was just shifting shit around.
Look,
underneath the bed. In the closet.
Look,
it's
missing an arm. It's got 6 different stains.
Yeah.
I mean, why does that stain look like doo-doo? We got problems here. Let's throw it away.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely that pile of trash and pile of giveaway. There's definitely that separation as well.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you give your stuff away, I mean, I know clothes, toys, and stuff, like, if it works and the clothes are fine, they're not torn or like stained, I will give them away. If they're not, I will still, probably not clothes. I still give clothes away because you just never know.
Yeah.
Someone might not give a shit.
Let me put it this way. The deals and the timing that Jennifer and I had for when we got clothes for both the boys, having 2 children, having hand-me-downs on stuff, being able to hold on to some stuff, but that's also the whole thing, is that we're finally getting rid of some of the stuff we don't even have to hold on to for Leland because it doesn't work for him
anymore. Don't send the underwear, folks, okay? Nobody wants the underwear. Throw it away.
Especially when they're learning.
Yes. No. I'm talking about when you're donating clothes. If you're one of those people who put underwear in there,
throw it away.
You may have meant well, but you've done wrong.
Right.
Okay? You've done wrong.
Very true. Very true. Either way, the way Jennifer and I were fortunate enough for like clothing, toys, and stuff, consignment sales, that is one thing that I will preach up and down. Look for those consignment sales. You can find all sorts of good deals on those. I mean, we're talking about, there are some things in there that are virtually brand new and you're getting for like 1/16 of the cost, and again, there's just the family and friends that, again, the timing couldn't have been perfect of, hey, I'm getting rid of a bag of clothes. Those will fit. If they don't fit now, maybe they'll fit in another month or two, something. We be sure we are... Man, I can't even talk just like the other night on the GY episode.
We be jamming?
We be jamming, yo.
We be jamming?
We be jamming. We are sure to... See, I almost did it again. Damn it. We are sure to also return the favor in the same way. Before we get rid of stuff, we always check with people first that we know may know.
Yeah.
Give them away to the thrift stores. Do that. Selling is the last thing that we do. Unless it's just like one of those things where... I spend $50 on it. I just like to recoup maybe $20 on it. Something.
Look, I mean, if it's nice and it's worth a significant amount of money, yes, you have to scrutinize who you sell it because you have to sell it. I mean, nobody's going to just give something like that away unless they can afford to.
Exactly.
And not many people could. So maybe they give it away for whatever reason.
Exactly. But coming full circle in this episode, it's the holiday season, guys. Remember, it's not just about us. What us here, the Geekfathers, have always preached about since I can say
time began.
Since time began, as I shake my cane. We're all about the community, guys. Again, holidays can. I know we've talked about some fun stuff and some great things going on. We also know that the holidays can be very stressful. It can be hard times for people as well. Remember, we're here, GUI is here, friends and family of GUI are here for however we can support you, even if it's just an open ear, a shoulder, something to do. And if it's, honestly, in the holidays, because it can be the most stressful time of year for so many people, if it really is to that degree, seek help. That's all I can say.
I would say, besides the people that you love, that support you, there's a lot of qualified lifelines out there that are probably better suited to help you or handle whatever you may be going through. That's a little more extreme than people.
Sure.
A lot of people may be prepared to handle. You know?
Absolutely. And they're making, I know, the numbers are easier to reach out to, communication, even though it's still the time of COVID, pandemic stuff. I know a lot of doctors and different people are making themselves accessible to Zoom and products like that to where it's easy to contact because you won't be able to physically go into the office, but you can see the face, you can see what is going on. But I mean, that's really it, guys. And not to end on a bummer, but that's what we have to look for, especially right now during these holidays. We gotta remain diligent on taking care of yourself, taking care of our friends, the family, the community. We're one tribe under this, guys. Keep it strong. Do what you got to. And if you've got to step back, I mean, no one is going to argue with you on that whatsoever. Handle what you got to handle and just make sure the holiday is as great as possible for not only yourself, but the little ones, no matter what the age. I know we've definitely taken extra steps, especially these recent months, to... It's just hard.
Yeah.
Parenting is not easy these days.
No, it's not. I mean, honestly, I have thought about trying to patent some sort of pandemic body condom that you can just stick your kid in.
This is not the Naked Gun. Right? I mean,
but God, wouldn't it be that's maybe got a little bit of padding, so they're also protected.
That's
from the
called
world.
Bubble wrap. Sure.
I know, boy in the plastic bubble.
We don't want a bubble boy.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Did you ever see the movie with John Travolta? I'm just saying.
Or the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that's some riveting shit.
Right. It
rolling
is
down
riveting shit as we start to wrap up this episode, guys. But yeah, overall, when it comes down to it, guys, hopefully you're enjoying the holidays however you enjoy them. I know some people don't technically celebrate, or... there are different holidays that you do celebrate. So whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, I know I'm probably missing a whole list, but that's all I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
celebrate.
Sure there's quite a bit.
Yeah, I know all the holidays seem to happen within this little time frame, but regardless of the holiday,
happy time of your celebration.
Exactly. All the holidays basically say the same thing: is to be good to yourself and be good to others,
or mourning, or healing, or whatever whatever you need it to be.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. So I will first off say thank you to M the Gem and the Holograms for joining us with the sparkling personality.
Yes.
Oh my God, nobody can see because it's recorded how animated you are.
That was, I know, man.
Your spirit fingers were hard.
Fingies.
Boom!
Fingies, I was fingered.
With your chicken nuggies and your chocolate milk.
Oh, all the Baby Yoda talk. Jesus. See, I did like you, but no, I'm just kidding.
It's not Yoda anymore.
I know.
He's got a real name.
I know, real.
We won't say it because it's too soon.
Too soon, yeah. It's still within too much of the spoiler alert for the Mandalorian.
He's the most badass 50-year-old baby you've ever seen.
Basically, yeah. You find out a lot in that recent episode there. But Em, thank you very much for joining us. I know it was last minute.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, definitely appreciate the input for everything. Guys, again, I know I said it at the beginning of the episode, but it's Christmas, so buy a bunch of shit by going to GUIPodcast.com.
That's right.
Visit our friends at TeePublic.
Mm-hmm.
Great customer service, great stuff. All the designs, new designs. Unfortunately, like I said, not in time for Christmas, but after the new year, the Geek Fathers will be having some. I already have some fun ideas going on, and we're going to
just check the website too. There's a lot of cool shit just on the website to click.
There is. All that stuff, I believe, for what it's worth, all of our sales from TeePublic are still going to the Holly Fund. Because even though some friends have been able to go back to work, we're about to hit we're in the midst of going through another spike. And the Holly Fund is to help out all the restaurant, bartender type people who are having trouble finding work right now or getting work, just to give them something a little bit extra to pay the rent. Yeah. Something like that. So we're not collecting shit off TeePublic right now. It all goes right back to our friends in the community. Remember, small businesses at the same time really need the help, whether it's online, physical, whatever it may be. Help out the businesses.
And your local shelters.
Local shelters are good. Mm-hmm. And because I've already posted one thing, and I'm sure there will be more, is that any of those assholes that are taking the old animals to the shelter now to get ready for the new one, I will find you.
That's some bullshit.
It is.
That
all
is
of our
bullshit.
as much as I sit there and scream and curse at my old man Charles Pug, he is still my boy. He will.
Cheap bastard. Just like, you know what? I'll just give him to the pound, and they'll just euthanize him for me. And that way I don't have to pay for it. I fucking bet you there's a lot of...
Just give me your old babies. I'll take care of your old babies.
There you go. Okay. And hit up M the Gym here. We'll just reach out to us at Geekfather here. Well, you can... Well, that would be a good point to bring up where you can always email us. That's geekfatherpodcast at gmail.com. Damn it. Oh, I almost had it this time.
One day you're going to get this right.
I had it right.
One day.
One day.
Look at talking about the southern twang kicking in over there now.
One day you're going to get it right.
But the email is geekfatherpodcast, at gmail.com.
It's also a new concept, this email thing.
This electronic mail.
Electronic mail.
Yeah. Do you have a computer?
Yeah.
No.
What's that?
What's a computer? But guys, reach out directly to us there. I still do the occasional Twitter for us, maybe with Kyle officially joining as official. Drink up to that. We still have the Twitter at Geekfather1. That's at Geekfather1. And then, of course, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff, guys. And, don't forget, too, that on GUIPodcast.com, check out all the wonderful shows. I know there's some fun stuff going on. From the Mouths of Madness are still dead. They're still having fun with the holiday stuff, with all the horror things. That post with the Thanksgiving movies was really good.
Yeah, horror is the thing of all seasons.
Horror is all year round.
Yes.
But GUI Flagship, we by the time you hear this, I believe the 200th episode will have dropped.
Ah, yes.
So keep an eye out for there.
That was an experience, folks.
That was fun. We had a bunch of us on. It was the usual GUI shit show. Having fun with all of our homies, going back.
It was the truest shit showedest.
It was very much so. But it's all there, guys, where you listen to your podcast, Spotify, the website, whatever's easiest. And I think I'm about done. I'm about brain dead at this point. So don't forget, join us or cry.
Are you going to pass out?
Yep.
In a world ravaged by movie studios that keep rehashing the same things, only one podcaster has the guts to make it even worse. Join Mike the Hobbit as he traverses the internet to bring you some of the best and worst ideas for reboots, remakes, and reimaginings of some of your favorite and least favorite TV and film properties. Ideas like a John Waters He-Man movie, Fantastic Four the musical, and Aliens, done entirely with marionettes. What podcast would bring this evil upon the world? This is Smack My Pitch Up. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
GUIPodcast.com